Hey, what's up everyone? John, the Average E-Bike Guy here for another review of Himiway's new Escape Pro model. Something with this model that's different from the previous model of the regular Escape is the battery life. The battery life on this is 48 volt, 17.5 amp hour battery, as opposed to the previous model of a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. This is going to get you a little more range while keeping that same amount of power. This bike is a moped style bike, meaning it's going to feel more like a motorcycle rather than the Zebra here that feels more like a bike. The seat on the Escape Pro is fixed, so you can't raise it higher or lower, and it's got a BMX style handlebar. The motor on the Escape Pro is a 750 watt motor. This bike comes with mechanical brakes, your Shimano 7-speed shifter, front and rear fenders and headlight, front suspension, rear suspension, your Himiway classic controller, and I have my little speaker attached to the front, and a nice body. Everything on this bike is really well constructed. Very happy with the construction of this bike. What we're going to do today is we're going to take this Escape Pro on our first ride. I've ridden it a couple of miles already, so I have a pretty good feel for the bike to be able to make this video go smoothly and really focus on those points that I like and dislike about this bike. We're going to do, once again, a hill test with a throttle only, top speed test. We're going to do a handling test around some curvy little trails that we have around here. And we're just going to get an overall feel for how this bike performs at the price point of $17.99. Here we go, we're gonna turn it on. As you can see, I got 17 miles already. Took for a little bit of a spin. Got a good feel for the bike. And here we go, Himiway Escape Pro review. So, just a couple of things to note right off the bat. As I stated previously, this bike has a fixed seat. So what that means is you can't raise it higher or lower. So if you're a little bit of a bigger guy, it may be a little difficult for you to pedal. I'm only 5'9", and I don't really have that big of a problem pedaling it, but it's definitely not as comfortable as, say, the Zebra or the Cruiser, where you could adjust that seat up and down to fit comfortably. I do feel like I'm a little cramped at times, but if I absolutely had to pedal, I could do it. The power distribution on this motor is really good. It's really smooth. I did adjust my pedal assist to go from 1 to 9 rather than 1 to 5. So that did help with the power distribution. It's really smooth, it's not herky-jerky. And like I said, right now I'm using the pedal assist. Can't really fully extend my legs, but if I absolutely had to, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, we're gonna bring this up, pedal assist 9, and we're gonna go top speed. And the motor right there, the engine, or the motor, once it shuts off right at 22. So there you go. That's your top speed right there, using pedal assist, full power output. Brakes a little squeaky, but that's something that you just got to deal with when you have mechanical brakes. And now we're gonna do a top speed throttle only. Ready and go. Okay, good acceleration, really good on this bike. 15, 16, gets up there pretty quick. And right there at 22.3, you could feel the motor let off. 22, 22.1. Here we go, we're hitting a little bit of a downhill. Yep, 22.3 is when you really feel that motor let out. Okay, so it's at 22.3 top speed, but just like the Zebra, it does feel like it wants to go a little more. That's something that you're only going to be able to obtain through unlocking the bike, which I don't recommend. These motors, they're meant to go the speed they're meant to go, and that's how you're going to keep them in the best shape as possible. But if you don't care, go ahead and unlock it. Another thing I noticed right off the bat with this bike is it's extremely comfortable. It's a little more upright because you do have that moped style. So it is going to feel more like a motorcycle. So if you're looking for this bike as a commuter bike where you don't really care about pedaling, you get from point A to point B when you don't have to worry about battery life, this is definitely going to be the bike for you. It's the steepest hill we got in the neighborhood. We're going to try and get up that using throttle only, and we're going to see how much torque and how much power this motor really has. So get a little rolling start. Here we go, throttle only, Himiway Escape Pro, 750 watt. Hey, 19 miles an hour, we're hitting the hill now. Steepest part of it, 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, it's slowing down, but you could just feel the motor and the torque behind it. There's no way that this is gonna go under 8 miles an hour. Not a problem at all. Once again, gets up this hill so easy. It really is just that Himiway motor. It's tough to beat, especially at the price point it's at. And now we flip around. We're gonna hit this hill and we're gonna have our brake test. Again, you got these two mechanical brakes. We're gonna try and get it up to 30 miles an hour without locking the brakes up. 26, 28, 29, 32, and ready, 3, 2, 1, brake. Wow. For mechanical brakes, that really did just impress me. They didn't perform quite like the Zebra brakes, if I had to guess. But no problems at all stopping us at, I think we got up to 33 miles an hour. Next test we're gonna do is the handling test. We're gonna try and keep this bike as fast as we could, and we're gonna use throttle only. And we got a little trail in front of us. It's a pavement trail, but it's got some quirky turns in it. So we're gonna see how well this bike handles around those little curves. So far, here we go. You can really pull it down a little bit. Nice, slow down, we got a pedestrian. Morning. Okay, here we go again. Getting it up, we're at 21 miles an hour, 22. And you can feel these tires just gripping the ground. It's so balanced, this bike. The Zebra, they did have a little bit of an understeer on the Zebra. This bike is it's perfectly balanced, it feels. It just really handles more like a motorcycle. Here we go. Again, this is throttle only, no pedaling. I'm really not going to pedal this bike a lot at all. I'm going to be using this for mostly throttle, commuting, going to town, running my errands. Okay. Wow, I like this bike a lot.
$17.99. You're gonna get your miles. You're not really, if you're running this for errands within your town, you're not really gonna have to worry about battery life, because it does still have that 48 volt, 17.5 amp hour battery. So of course it depends on the rider and the conditions you're riding in, the terrain you're riding on, but it really, it's tough to beat this bike, especially if you want that moped style bike. Really a big fan of this. Look at that. Look at the way this handles. It's like a dream. Alright. Now we got that throttle test. We got the handling test. Let's do some pedal assist. We're going to pedal assist all the way home, and we're going to see what it's really like pedaling this bike. So we're on pedal assist level 7, gear 7. By the way, once again, the Shimano shifter, smooth as butter, no problems with that. Let's drop it down a little to 6 because we're not really having much resistance on the pedaling. Okay, good, look both ways, always got to be safe. So something with this bike, the actual saddle, the seat of it, good morning, the seat of this bike, it's a little wider. It's definitely a bigger, it's more of a bench seat, put it that way. So from left to right, it is wider in between your thighs, as dirty as that sounds. So it does get a little uncomfortable. Again, we've only been on this bike now for 3 miles, and you could feel it rubbing in between your left and your right thigh. Which is why I always say with this bike, since it is that moped style bike, you're really going to want to use this for throttle only. You're not going to want to ride this where you have to pedal it. If you do want to pedal it, maybe you're looking at something more like a Zebra, because that bike is a lot more comfortable to pedal. You could raise that seat up, you could get that leg extension. I'm 5'8", so I'm not the biggest guy in the world, and I do still feel that like cramped style a little bit. Again, another hill, pedal assist level 5, and there's nothing, like, you don't even feel the hill. If you wanted to, you drop it down a couple of gears, and look, I'm ghost pedaling pretty much. I'm going up this hill, so I do wish Himiway went and did put the hydraulic disc brakes on rather than mechanical. That's something I wish that they did different with this bike, because you are going to use it more as a moped. You want to have something that you don't, I'm not saying you got to worry about these brakes, but you do want brakes that are going to be top of the line brakes when you're using a bike the way that I'm going to be using this. Rear suspension is great. It's not too bouncy, but you do feel it. You definitely feel it working, but you don't have that bounce that it's gonna make you car sick. Front suspension, always great. I have mine set to the loosest it could be. I like that on the front, because I do go off curves and I don't want my brain being rattled. Okay, going back down this hill. See, I'm riding on the grass right now, and you can feel the struts. You can feel them absorbing the shocks, absorbing the bumps. Going down at 22 miles an hour, and great bike, great bike. Hey. Go through this development right here. Some pretty big bumps in here. They haven't paved the roads yet. Get a little air on that. A little BMX riding on this bike. Listen, I like to ride my bikes. I don't like to just stay on the road, go one speed, conserve. I like to ride them. I like to test them. I want to see what I'm paying for. I want to use it to the full experience. And I feel like this bike is extremely versatile when it comes to that, because I could use it on a pavement, I could use it on a trail. I'm not saying to go mountain biking with it, but I'm not worried with this bike. I'm not worried about hitting bumps. I'm not worried about gravel. You have that rear suspension. Yeah, that suspension that's no joke. It works. And it is solid. I'm getting a couple inches of air, and it's like that rear suspension really absorbs everything. The front suspension's great. This bike does not feel like it's rattling around at all. It is a tank. It is solid. Yeah, listen, I'm a big fan of this bike. The Zebra does have a little bit of a better battery at 20 amp hours, 48 volts. So we're gonna do a range test compared to the Zebra. And then I'm really gonna do more of a side-by-side comparison. We're gonna get both of them out on the same trail at the same time. And we're gonna really see which bike is better for what type of rider. So listen, if you like this video, be sure to hit me with the subscribe, thumbs up, like, leave comments down below what you want to see, us test. I was lucky enough, Himiway sent me this bike, so I was really lucky enough to be able to test it at their leisure. So I want to keep doing this. I really enjoy it. I hope I can pass on some knowledge to you guys, but without you, it's not possible. So like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe, hit that like, and just like that, John the e-bike guy, we're out.